Hello, this is Skylit Lake reading A Quirk Does Not Define You by Art of Amaya. One shot. Summary. Shinso approaches Aizawa about wanting to drop out of the hero course, even after all the work he did in the sports festival to get transferred. People are still only viewing his quirk as villainous, and he has started to lose hope that he could ever become a hero. Aizawa shares something with him that he hopes will help. He shares stories of a past UA student who also had a quirk that had been deemed villainous by others, but who was still able to become a pro himself. Aizawa was leaning against his desk, staring down at the stack of papers he still had to grade. The students had all returned to the dorms at this point, leaving his classroom quiet, a rare thing. When he heard the door open, he expected to see Mike, or maybe All Might. Who he didn't expect to see was Shinso. Shinso, shouldn't you be back at the dorm by now? He looked up to the young student. Shinso had his head down and was nervously fidgeting with a piece of paper in his hands. He walked up to Aizawa's desk and slid the piece of paper towards the teacher. Aizawa looked down on it and immediately looked back up at his student. Is this? He started before Shinso spoke up. It's a request to drop out of the hero course and go back to general studies. Shinso didn't meet his teacher's eyes. I already filled out everything. I just need you to sign it. Aizawa looked over the papers and couldn't help but feel a tang of sadness. Shinso wanted to drop out. After everything he did at the sports festival, how hard he fought to be transferred, and now he wanted to go back to general studies. If this is what you wanted to do, I'll sign this for you, but can I ask you something first? Shinso looked up at him. Are you going to ask me why? Aizawa nodded. Because it's pointless. I tried my best to get transferred into the hero course, and I actually made it at the sports festival. I had the chance to become a hero, but even with all the work I've been doing, everybody still only sees my quirk as something a villain could have. All my life, ever since I got my quirk, it's been the same thing. Everyone is always saying how if they had my quirk, they would use it for evil, or joking about me not making them slaves. They always looked at me like I'm some future villain, and it's the same here. Even if I stay in the hero course and I graduate, maybe even go pro, it doesn't change the fact that I have a villain's quirk. Shinso sniffled, wiping at his nose as he finished talking. Would you believe me if I told you you aren't the first UA student who people said had a villainous quirk? Shinso looked at Aizawa like he didn't know how to respond. Pull over a chair. I'll show you. Aizawa opened his laptop and began to pull up something. Shinso stayed quiet and grabbed the chair from one of the desks in this class, pulling it over to sit next to his mentor. He looked at the laptop and looked at the video that was pulled up. It was a UA sports festival, one from years back. He watched as the video played. Up next in the knockout tournament, we will have the surprise fighter from General Studies, Shoto Aizawa. and his opponent from Class B of the Hero Close, Koyanagi Michio. Let the fight commence! Shinso's eyes widened as he watched a younger Aizawa walk onto stage, facing his opponent. This is the sports festival you were in? You were in general studies? And you made it to the tournament at the end of the festival? I'll answer that later. Right now, just watch. Aizawa motioned at the screen. Aizawa got into a defensive stance as his opponent rushed forward. Michio reached out a hand, but before anything happened, Aizawa activated his quirk, eyes glowing red as his hair lifted up. Michio froze, looking down at his arm. "What the hell did you do to me?" he yelled out. Aizawa didn't respond, just ran forward, ramming into Michio, pushing him back, trying to force him out of bounds. Michio pushed back, still seeming in shock. "You did something to my quirk. No wonder you haven't been using yours until now." Michio swung a fist down, punching Aizawa in the stomach. It wasn't much, but it was enough to force a blink. The moment Erasure was shot off, Michio's arms stretched out, wrapping around Aizawa and swinging him around. Aizawa wasted no time reactivating his quirk, and Michio's arms whipped back towards him, returning to normal. They were closer to the line now. Aizawa rushed forward, swinging a leg out and sweeping Michio's leg out from under him, causing him to fall backwards, just over the out-of-bounds line. Koyanagi Michio is out of bounds. Shoto Aizawa wins! Michio looked at the announcer in shock, but his expression quickly turned to anger as he looked back towards Aizawa. "You quirk-stealing cheater! The only way you can win is by taking away someone's quirk, you villain!" Michio looked ready to attack, but a teacher quickly stepped in, holding the hot-headed student back. The video ended, and Aizawa turned to Shinso. "I didn't get any further in the tournament. My next opponent had a heteromorphic quirk, one that was harder for me to erase." "And you were still able to join the hero course?" "Yes, I was, just like you, but it wasn't easy. Most of the students still didn't like me. Some hated or even feared me, and this didn't certainly help." Aizawa pulled up a different video. It's a news reporter from an amateur journalist that posted online a few days after the festival. A young woman stood in front of the camera, the UA entrance gate in the background. "Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm standing in front of the Great Hero School UA. Now, while most of you are interested in the top 3 winners of UA Sports Festival, I'm here to tell you that there is one student who you should pay closer attention to. Not because of the pro hero they will become, but because this student will be the next big villain." She paused, looking off the camera. "And here he comes now." She ran over the sidewalk, the camera following her towards a surprised Aizawa, who was walking up the hill. "Here he is, the future #1 villain, able to take away a hero's quirk with just a single look. Any future heroes will want to remember this face. Be ready to face a villain who can take away the very thing that makes you a hero." I what?" Aizawa stammered, stumbling back, trying to get away from the camera. Even knowing that this video took place years ago, Shinso couldn't help but feel upset. How could this grown woman be harassing a student like this? The woman continued to shove the camera at Aizawa, trying to get him to answer questions that only made Aizawa more uncomfortable. "Do you have a rival at the hero course? Someone you are going to target once you are a full-fledged villain?" Before she could ask anything, something blocked the camera. It was a cloud? The camera was blocked out, but 2 new voices could be heard. "Hey, back off. That is so uncool. Why don't you leave him alone?" a loud voice said. "Aizawa, are you alright? Come on, let's get to class," the second voice said, much softer. What happened at the end there? Who were those voices? One of them sounded like President Mike, Shinso asked once the video stopped. That's because it was. He and the other voice you heard were both good friends of mine back when I was a student. They helped me stay strong, even when I felt like quitting, like you are feeling now. And even though you might not think you do, you have friends here too who want to see you succeed. Your quirk does not define what you become. There is no such thing as a villain quirk or a hero quirk. Do you understand me? Aizawa placed that gentle hand on Shinso's shoulder. Shinso nodded. The last thing I wanted to see you do is give up on your dream before you can even get started. I'll continue to train you and push you to be the very best hero you can be, but I can only get you so far. Aizawa looked down at the transfer papers. Without even needing to say anything, Shinso grabbed the papers, crumpled it into a ball, and tossed it into the trash. He looked at his teacher, a look of determination on his face. Well, then let's go train. Hey fishies, I hope you enjoy this one shot. This is just a really soft one shot between Aizawa and Shinso, and I feel like that really is nice. Anyway, uploads might be slowing down, might not be, because I started uni again, so I will be, busy doing uni full time plus my work. So playing a juggling game, yippee, which could be, hard. Well, it is hard, but you know what? Fair enough. I'm gonna do my best to release at least one video a week, hopefully 2. In the case I can't get the 2, oh well, too bad. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye!